Welcome to Educate, Inform, Challenge. My name is Teresa MacLennan, Executive Director of the Women and Children's Shelter of Barrie. We are so glad that you have joined us today. As you know, the focus of our program is to talk about the lives and experiences of women. We talk about women in business, politics, women, of course, who have an experience of violence, abuse, and human trafficking. What we always try to do is have good conversations that will create thinking and change in all of us in our community. And so we thank you for coming alongside with us. Before we begin, we do want to thank and acknowledge our Indigenous community. We thank you for culture, history, learning, and education. And we want to strive and work towards being allies. And so thank you so much for allowing us to have these conversations on these traditional lands. So I am thrilled today to be speaking with Danielle, who, she's going to introduce herself as well. And we're going to be talking about our Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event that's happening on September the 7th. So welcome, Danielle. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to chat.
Super. So before we begin, why don't you kind of introduce yourself to the community and let folks know what role you play here at the shelter?
Yeah, so my name is Danielle Parks-Hamer, and I am the Community Development Manager here at the shelter, and I'm so thrilled to join the team of such amazing and supportive women. It has been great so far. So my role here is to cultivate relationships with the community and bring in the fundraising dollars here to the shelter that we need to operate.
Great. And as the executive director, I can just tell you how fabulous Danielle has been joining the team. It's like she's been here forever, and we're just so thrilled that she decided to take us on. And so we're just thrilled with that. So you started to talk about the importance of fundraising. So let's start there. So why is fundraising so important, and so important for our agency in particular?
Yeah, fundraising is so important to us. We only get about 60% of our funding through the ministry. So the rest is all fundraising dollars that we need to pull from the community to operate. We have to keep the lights on. We have to pay our wonderful, hardworking staff. We have to feed, clothe, and house all these women and their children. So it's so important for these fundraising events to happen every year.
Yeah. And I think like we're upwards of having to raise, I think like $350,000 every year just in financial donations, like you said, just to keep the lights on. That's not creating any new programming. That is just keeping things status quo. So, and of course, if we're able to exceed that amount, then we would be creative with it and figure out what other things can we do program and service wise for the women and the kids, right? So I really appreciate that. I think it's really healthy for the community to understand the lack of funding that has historically been our experience here at the shelter, and all shelters. Shelters are grossly underfunded. So thank you for that. So Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is our key fundraiser event every year. And we rely really, really heavily on it. But there's a great history and background to Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. So why don't you talk to us about that? Where did this event come from?
Yeah, so it actually started in 2001. It was started as a march of men who were walking against violence against women. So they decided to don these red shoes and put them on and literally put themselves in the women's shoes to walk. So the walk is so important for advocacy, to see how men are breaking out of the norms and how they are really trying to make an impact and to speak with other men about this that's happening, and really just stand up and be an advocate for women. It's just so important.
Yeah, because, women have been using our voice forever to try and end the violence that, we experience and abuse that women experience, right? And our voice is vitally important for sure. But the voice of men is so key because, women have historically carried the shame and the guilt of the abuse and violence that they experience. And quite often, people will question the woman who has had that violence, like, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she call the police? Why didn't she? Why didn't she? Why didn't she?
Mhm.
And when we do that, it takes the emphasis off of the abuser. And it
Yes.
puts the emphasis on the actions of the woman who's actually experienced abuse. And so the voice of men is critical in that because we need men to be saying, I'm a good man. And this is what a good man looks like. This is what a good man is in a relationship. And that has incredible influence over other men. I can often give this example when I think about some of the talk that can happen in the locker room, degrading jokes, degrading talk about women, talking about our bodies, in profound, awful ways, How do we ask men to stand up and say, you know what, I don't want to hear that. I respect my wife. I respect my partner, whoever that may be. And I don't want to hear that kind of stuff. It's hard to do. But we really appreciate it when men step in and use their voice as well. So I think, it is so critical because, you can speak to this. Of course, everyone is welcome to join the event, right? But we really, really love to see men, women, children, gender diverse folks, coming to walk with us, right? So it's just really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I want to clarify, if there's any men who are watching right now, do they have to wear high heels?
They absolutely do not have to wear the heels. We do not force anyone to do anything that they don't want to do, of course. Even if it's just a quick photo op or even holding the shoes, whatever they want to do. We even have a big red shoe that they can take a picture with. There's so many different opportunities to spread the wildness of the event. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have flats, and of course you can wear your own shoes. The important piece is about coming out, showing up, and of course walking with us, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about the goal for this year's event, what goal have you set to raise?
So we have set to raise $70,000 this year. But even outside of the financial goal, because we would love to absolutely exceed that, of course, but just really the advocacy piece and getting out into the community and showing who we are and showing our message and spreading the word. And I just think it's so powerful and it's so empowering. I just think it's great. But of course, we would love to exceed $70,000 so that we can really help support these women and children that are in our care.
So how do we get to the 70,000 mark, right? Because that is a big goal for us, and it's a little bit higher than what we were able to reach last year, which was fantastic. We had our best year ever. So how do we get there? Like, how do the funds actually get raised?
Yeah, so all the funds come in through, a big part of it is sponsorships. And we give such great opportunity for organizations and businesses to come and support us and sponsor the event. And we'll put their logo wherever they need it, wherever we want it. And we really spread the message. We share it on our social media and all that kind of stuff. But another really great way to get the funds is that people make teams and you have pledges for the teams, and we have top earner prizes and everything. So it's really a great opportunity to connect with people in your community and say, hey, I'm doing this walk, want to support me? And so, yeah.
And I know that, we've had some incredible fundraising teams that have come out in the past, and sometimes they wear outfits, superhero costumes, and we love that. We love that everybody is getting excited and they're putting a team together. And there's always a bit of a healthy competition to see who's going to be the top team that raises the most, right? So yeah, and I'm trying to recall all of the many team names that we've had. I don't know if you can recall any, Danielle, that have just done incredible stuff.
Yeah, the biggest one I can remember is who won last year. It's Team Wild Child. They raised over $10,000 for us. Yeah, amazing. So we'd love to have teams come out and get the competition going and really just have fun with it and really make a difference.
So we're going to dive into that a little bit more after the commercial, but I do want to give thanks to those sponsorship folks, right? And so did you want to just maybe highlight a few of those, our top sponsors as well?
Sure. Yeah, so our top sponsors this year is Royal LePage, First Contact Brokerage, with $5,000. And then the other one is the Simcoe County Elementary Teachers Federation, again, with $5,000. So they have been presenting sponsors the last few years. And so we just really appreciate their continuing support of us.
And I want to give a shout out as well to the Royal LePage Shelter Foundation. Across Canada, Royal LePage has the only shelter foundation that supports our work and many other shelters across the country. And we are forever grateful to Royal LePage and that foundation that supports our work. It's just vitally, vitally important to us. Let's start to talk about how the funds will be used. We might have to take a bit of a break in between here, but let's talk about those extensive needs that we have here in the shelter that these funds from Walk a Mile will directly support.
Yeah, so when a woman and her family comes in, we give them everything they need. So from a toothbrush to a tampon, we give them everything. So we want to make sure that they come in and they can feel safe and they can start their healing journey. So it helps with the school snacks and the groceries and formula, diapers, everything they possibly could need. So all the funds go to that, as well as the heating, the cooling in not only the shelter, but our transitional homes as well. So all the maintenance and everything. The list is long, but yes, these funds go towards everything that we need to continue to operate.
Yeah, we have a very large shelter space, 2 transitional homes, and the maintenance and upkeep of those is just tremendous dollars. The heat, the hydro, the water bill, electric, it's so costly. And I think you mentioned a really good point about we provide everything for women, because a lot of folks don't know that women are calling our 24-hour crisis line, and they might be calling at 3:00 in the morning saying, I need to leave now. He's going to seriously hurt me. And we do all of our best to get a taxi or to get that woman here into the shelter. But most often women are leaving quickly and they're leaving with nothing. So they come with their kids in tow, the clothes on their back. Maybe they have a garbage bag of some things that they've been able to pull together at the last minute, but they truly show up with nothing. And so that's why the fundraising dollars is so important to us. So we're going to continue this conversation with Danielle. We're just going to take a short break. Please stay with us and we will be right back. Welcome back to Educate, Inform, and Challenge. We're having a great discussion with Danielle, who is our Community Development Manager here at the shelter. And Danielle has a very heavy responsibility, to try and raise the funds that we need as a shelter to continue our work supporting women and their children who've experienced violence, abuse, and human trafficking. And always important for me to share with our viewers that we're only supposed to have 27 beds filled with women and children. And we typically every night are at 35. And that is our absolute maximum. We're only supposed to be at 27. So we're pulling out cots and we're doing whatever we can, to try and support the need. We have to refer out over 600 women every year, women and their kids, because we don't have any space. So it is just always a good reminder for our community to know that abuse is happening right here in our community. It is the women who you work with. It is the women who are checking you out at the grocery store. It's your neighbor. And it could be your family member or your friend. And so we just always want our community to know that this is very real and it is continuing to happen. We are talking about our Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event with Danielle, who's kind of filling in for us the importance of this event. And so, you know, we have many people that come out to the event every year, and we are so, so appreciative of that. We always love to see it get bigger. We'd love to see more people coming out who are interested in making a change and being allies with us and to walk with us, right? So to help those folks who've never participated before, Danielle, what will the event look like this year?
Yeah, so this year we're really excited that a little change of venue, and we're at the South Shore Center. It's such a beautiful venue to kickstart and really cultivate a nice community space to gather before we go and do our walk. So we're really excited about that. We have Kiwanis there doing our barbecue, of course, for after the walk. We have amazing raffle baskets up for prizes and for auction that we're really excited about. So you can come out and you can buy tickets and you can help raise more funds for us and also walk away with a really great gift basket. So it's kind of a win-win. We will have Rock 95 on site, keeping the energy up, having some fun music playing. They also are bringing some patio games to kind of fill the gaps. Of course, you come in, you register, you can get your red high heels, try them on, strut it out, take some photos. We have a nice balloon arch this year as a nice photo op for teams. And yeah, we're just really excited for everyone to come together and just have the energy and just come together as a community and really drive this message home.
Mm-hmm. And most years we will also have some of our local politicians that come out sometimes. We're never sure, you know, just given their busy schedules, who's gonna to come as well. So, I mean, we might see, you know, John Broussard, we might see the mayor coming out, right? And we just always love that our city rallies around, you know, this event, right? And I think it's worth also mentioning to people, even though it's walk a mile in her shoes, you don't have to walk a mile. You can walk, you can ride, you can stroll, you can run, whatever you feel like. It is an accessible event. It's very flat surface leading off of the South Shore. And so we want to support anyone who has some accessibility needs. And we just encourage you to walk or roll, however that works for you. And of course, dogs are welcome. We love to have dogs with us as well, and pets and kids, right?
All the dogs.
All the dogs, right? So please come on out and just walk with us, right? And so rain or shine, Danielle?
Yes, yeah, rain or shine, we're gonna walk. If it's raining, let's get on those boots and we'll get some umbrellas and we'll keep going. We really just, the important part is to show up and just be there and be in the community and be in people's faces so they know about our work that we do and how important it is. And violence against women is an epidemic, especially in the city. And we really just need to let everyone know, and just so that they can support us and support their family and their friends. I'm sure, as you mentioned earlier, Teresa, everyone knows someone. Even yesterday at our Crème de Cruiser event, we met many women and families who said, I've used your services, or I know someone who's used your services. So it's so common, and it's really heartbreaking that it is, but that's why this event is so important.
And I really appreciate that you said that, because everywhere that I may be speaking in the community, there will always be women who come up to me and share their story with me of abuse. And men will also come up and share their stories about watching their mothers being abused. And I am always humbled by the generosity and the bravery of men and women to share their stories with us. And like I say, every time, without question, wherever I go to speak, there will always be someone that'll come up to me and say, you know, I lived with an abuser, or I was in your shelter. We've even had adults come to us and say, I was in your shelter as a child. It is profound. And I also appreciate that you called intimate partner violence, gender-based violence, an epidemic, because I do want to remind our community that in December 6th, 2023, a few months ago, the city of Barrie declared gender-based intimate partner violence as an epidemic. And that was very significant for here in our city. Our city councilors acknowledged the incredible amount of abused women here in our community, and police-related calls are always the highest with regards to domestic violence. It is the number one related calls that all police services receive. And so let's, take stock when we're thinking about that, which again brings me back to the importance of this event, right? I have had people ask me in the past about the Walk a Mile event. Do they have to pay to register to participate, or to pay to register a team?
Yeah, so we would love everyone to register. It's $30 to register. You can do it on our website. This registration fee just covers the swag bags we give out, the red shoes, the maintenance of all that, and just to cover a little bit of the costs and help us get closer to our goal.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'm not sure. I can't reflect on how many participants and walkers we've had in the past, but I would say it's been over 100. I would, maybe closer to 200, right? And when we think about that, if every one of those folks was able to contribute $30, that is a huge step towards us reaching our goal. And so we're just very appreciative, right? And, whatever folks can do. I also want to say that I know that it is very tough times financially for folks. The cost of things is just hitting us all very, very hard. And so we understand that it can be difficult for folks to financially give. We know in hearts that people want to, but it's just, they're really strapped right now. And we want you to know that's okay. Come and see us, come and walk with us. We still would love to see you there. It's important to us. So what time should people arrive, and the date again?
Yeah, so it is September 7th. It's a Saturday. Registration will open at 11 a.m. and we'll kickstart the walk at 12.
Perfect. And there's probably going to be a few speaks before we start walking at 12. So if you're able to come at least by 11:30, that's perfect. And at the South Shore Center.
Yes, South Shore Center.
Yeah, this is the first year that it's been moved to the venue at the South Shore Center. So please, please, please remember that and come and find us, because that's where we will be. So we have about 5 minutes left, Danielle, and I would like you to look into your crystal ball. And if you could describe this event as a successful one, what would you hope for?
I think for it to be successful is, of course, that we reach our goal, but it just means so much more to me than that. Just having this presence in the city of Barrie and spreading our word and our advocacy. And even if 5 people say, what is that about? And they look it up and they learn and they grow from it and they tell someone, and just spread the word around about the importance of this walk, I think that would mean the absolute world to me. There's so many women and children who need our support and need our help. And it's heartbreaking, but it's so important. And I just really hope that even if we change one life, it just means all the world to me.
I think that was beautifully said. And, I want folks to know that your dollars, your support of us goes directly into the services and all the needs, like Danielle talked about, meals, hygiene, every tampon, every hairbrush, every toothbrush, every floss stick, every school snack, every meal. The fundraising dollars goes directly to that, and we really cannot maintain that without, support from the community. And I also want to just mention, and Danielle, please, step in too, right? Just about the importance of the work, because, when women and their kids come here into the shelter, if you can imagine the fear that they have, they're walking into a space, they have no idea, what's going to happen. They've left everything behind. But they come here and it's very much like a home-like environment, extremely welcoming. We always try to welcome every woman and tell her we're really glad she's here. But over the stay for women and kids, there's a transformation that happens, isn't there, Danielle?
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Can you just speak about what that transformation looks like for women and kids?
Yeah, they really become just like a beautiful extended family. They are helping each other cook meals. They're planning little birthday parties. They're wrapping presents together. They're having family meals. It just feels like the kids can all play and grow, and they have a safe space to just be kids. And it's so beautiful to see the kids grow, and the moms, I'm sure their hearts just also grow watching them just come out of their shell. And they just really create a lovely, empowering, and supportive community within themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see it all the time. And, when the women and their kids have to leave here, our usual experience is that they don't want to leave because, they've just been in an environment where we create and we teach about what healthy relationships look like, and that women deserve to not live in abuse, and so do their children. And there's this incredible transformation like you talked about. And that is how your fundraising dollars and support of our agency makes those transformations. And we really could not do it without our community supporting us. So, Danielle, I just want to give you the last word of encouragement to the community about our Walk a Mile event.
Yeah, so please come out, come walk, come support us. Bring a team, bring the energy, bring the family, bring the dog, and just come out and have a good time with us.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.